Here's more wrestling news for February 17th, 2022, and your headlines for this afternoon include: another huge surprise expected for WrestleMania, Stone Cold isn't the only return. Future plans for Stone Cold after WrestleMania revealed, who does he want to face after Kevin Owens? Young Bucks react to Cody and Brandi Rhodes leaving AEW. What I do is totally different. Raw superstar responds to accusations of stealing another wrestler's gimmick. AEW wrestler suffering with torn ACL, expected to be out for the rest of the year. WWE producer and writers respond to the end of 205 Live. AEW names hit back at claims that Brandi Rhodes wasn't liked in AEW. HBO's Peacemaker series greenlit for second season with John Cena, and more. We're kicking off with WrestleMania 38 as the card for this year's two-night event is coming together, with several huge matches already reported. Earlier this week, it was reported that Stone Cold Steve Austin will come out of his 19-year retirement to face Kevin Owens, but that's not the only big plan in store. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed the plans for Austin vs. Owens this April, but said that another Austin-level surprise is in the works. There's a very small number of wrestlers who fit the bill, and Meltzer added that The Rock, who is considered Austin's equal, will likely be busy with other commitments. John Cena is also expected to miss WrestleMania due to his filming schedule, and Meltzer questioned whether a return by a controversial name like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair would be on the level of the Rattlesnake. Whatever WWE has planned, it must be pretty huge if it's being compared to the Texas Rattlesnake, and it'll be interesting to see if the company can pull off this massive surprise this April. Austin's return to the ring will indeed be a monumental occasion, one worthy of WrestleMania, but WWE is already planning for after their show in AT&T Stadium. On the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, Andrew Zarian stated that should Stone Cold wrestle this April, it won't be a one-off, and we could soon see him in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis have offered Austin an estimated $3 million to wrestle in what would likely be the biggest payoff to a wrestler for one match in the history of wrestling. As for who the Bionic Redneck would face at a Saudi show, that's unclear. But when asked who from the current era he'd love to face by the official WWE TikTok account, Austin chose none other than Brock Lesnar. Lesnar and Austin have never wrestled before, but they do have a history, as Austin infamously walked out of WWE in 2002 rather than lose to Brock during a King of the Ring qualifying match on Raw. It was Austin who stunned Lesnar out of the company in 2004 at WrestleMania 20, with fans next seeing the Beast in WWE 8 years later, and at long last, the two may finally be facing off one-on-one. This week, Cody and Brandi Rhodes shocked everyone by announcing their departures from AEW 3 years after being founders of the company. In his statement, Cody thanked his fellow executive vice presidents, the Young Bucks, saying they took an undesired and not confident Lil Cub and granted him the confidence to become a leader of the pack. Now the Bucks have responded in the way they know best, as on Twitter, the former AEW World Tag Team Champions changed their bio, saying, "Thank God for us." Without Cody, it now falls on the Bucks and Kenny Omega to lead the company as executive vice presidents, and we'll have to see how the three work alongside Tony Khan in the post-Rhodes era of AEW. Back to WWE, and since returning to Raw in late 2021, Austin Theory has been on a roll, earning a WWE Championship match at Elimination Chamber. Vince McMahon has given his seal of approval on Theory, who many consider a future world champion, but not everyone is on board with the selfie-taking superstar. One criticism among certain fans is that Theory has ripped off Tyler Breeze's gimmick, as the former NXT Tag Champion was taking selfies long before Theory ever appeared in WWE. Speaking to 5K Wrestling, Theory responded to the claims, saying that he's going about things a different way. He added, "Anything that people might have seen before or think they might have seen before, they don't want to get along with it because they're like, well, it's already happened. But I think what I do is totally different. It's gonna be so great when I take that selfie in Saudi Arabia with the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber." Fans may have seen a superstar take a selfie before, but it's hard to argue with Theory's success, and we can only imagine how many selfies we will see should he leave Jeddah as WWE Champion. We've got news from Jake Atlas now, whose time in AEW so far hasn't been easy. Atlas blew out his knee during his debut with Serpentico and suffered an injury during his January 5th Rampage match with Adam Cole, and now the former WWE superstar will have to go under the knife. On Twitter, Atlas explained that the injury in the Cole match is a torn ACL, an injury which typically takes 9 to 12 months to recover from. In a statement, Atlas said he's disappointed to be on the shelf so soon after joining AEW, but is not going anywhere, and plans to remain a part of AEW whilst he's out of action. Following his match with Cole, it was first reported that Atlas's injury may not be as severe as first thought, and that he was going to be okay, but sadly, that's not the case, and we wish him the best on his long journey back to the ring. Now, it's been reported that 205 Live will be coming to an end soon, with NXT's new show, NXT Next Level, set to fill its time slot on the WWE Network and Peacock. The Purple brand will end after over 5 years of airing, and those closest to the show are now speaking about their experiences. On Twitter, Adam Pearce, who was a producer for 205 Live, thanked every person who stepped in the ring of 205 Live and said they will always have his gratitude for making the show what it is. Dewey Foley, son of Mick Foley and lead writer for 205 Live, called this the end of an era and said that the show had to face many restrictions, seemingly a reference to how WWE lost interest in the Purple brand. Interestingly, Foley wrote another tweet simply reading "slap in the face," which many took as a more genuine response to WWE ending 205 Live. WWE haven't confirmed when NXT Next Level will begin airing, but the first tapings have already happened, and now those associated with 205 Live will have to find another role within WWE. More from AEW now, as Cody and Brandi Rhodes' departure continues to be a huge talking point within the company, with reports coming out about the two backstage. It's been reported that Brandi Rhodes wasn't liked within AEW, with Wade Keller saying that nobody has anything nice to say about the former chief brand officer, adding that she, quote, has not been seen as an asset on camera, in the ring, or behind the scenes. Now, those in AEW are refuting the claims that Brandi wasn't liked, with Amanda Huber taking to Twitter to call Brandi a consummate professional who is strong and caring behind the scenes. Huber did admit that perhaps there are some who don't have positive things to say about Brandi, but claimed that a few open mouths saying something negative do not speak for me. AEW referee Aubrey Edwards also chimed in, calling Brandi professional and hardworking, and is gutted to see her go. While Cody Rhodes is expected to return to WWE perhaps as soon as this weekend, it's reported that Brandi won't be returning to the company as well, and she'll now have to find a new role within the wrestling industry. And we're ending today with John Cena, who has made a name for himself out of the ring thanks to the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker spin-off series on HBO. The Peacemaker character has allowed the 16-time WWE World Champion to show off a much more different side to himself than the babyface fans saw in WWE, and now the show has been greenlit for another season. On Twitter, series creator James Gunn confirmed that Peacemaker Season 2 has been picked up, and the news got over 11,000 likes in under an hour. DC Comics fans are certainly excited for the show, and the WWE on Fox account also congratulated John on the show's renewal, as the WWE icon star continues to grow outside of the ring. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.